All right, so you're ready to tackle the level 3 vocabulary sheet. Here it is, and the biggest difference that you'll notice is that I no longer give to you the bullets for each one of the words in our vocab. We're still going to set it up the same way, so let me move this over here and I'll show you how we're going to set this up. So this is chapter 14, section 2, vocab, but I'm going to say level 3. I'm going to label that so we know that it's level 3. And my first word is diffusion. So like always, I'm going to set that up over here. And I'm going to draw my line down the side, sort of Cornell Notes style like I normally would. Now, instead of having my bullets over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to basically summarize or paraphrase the information in the book on this particular word or concept without needing the support of having those bullets point out to me what the important details might be or what I should be paying attention to. Okay? And so in this case, our first word is diffusion. The words still go in order as you read through the textbook. And so let me get this out of the way here. And so I know diffusion is the first word. And so as I start to read under here, I'm going to come across that word or concept. And so as I read here, I'll just read it to you real quickly. It says, under late emperors, the Roman Empire became officially Christian. However, the Christian church at this time was centered mainly in the Mediterranean world. In this section, you will read about the diffusion, or spread of Christianity throughout Europe after the fall of the Western Roman Empire. The rise of religious orders. So I know here's diffusion, and it's going to talk to me about how diffusion or spreading was about Christianity and how Christianity starts to spread throughout Europe after the fall of the Western Roman Empire. It was originally mainly in the Mediterranean world. So what I'm pointing out to you right now is those are pretty good concrete details. Okay, Christian church was at the time was centered mainly in the Mediterranean world. It starts to diffuse or spread out, and it starts to do that after the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Now I can continue to read and see if there's any more mention of diffusion. It says the diffusion of Christianity was aided by the growth of early Christian groups and institutions, among the most important of which were the monasteries. Now I can see that monastery is already my second word, so it's already being mentioned here. I might mention it in here with my word diffusion, maybe not. But I do know, and I'm just going to highlight in here real quick for you, just for our sake here, that I know, here's the word diffusion, I know it means the spread, and then the Christian church at this time was centered mainly in the Mediterranean world. That's an important idea, and that it spread throughout Europe after the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Okay? And so that's what I need to make sure I cover when I write about it myself. And so two things I need to cover in here. I need to cover, number one, what the definition is. In this case, the definition of diffusion is spread, and then I need to talk about why the book is using the word diffusion, or what was going on in history that was important around this idea of diffusion. And in this case, I know it's about the diffusion or spread of Christianity throughout Europe. And so I need to talk about that in here. And so what I'm going to write down here is my paraphrasing of this idea or concept, including the definition. So I'm going to say Christianity began in the Mediterranean. Okay, and now I've included that concrete detail because that was important, because that's where it started. Okay, and then it's diffusion, and I can underline that, comma, or spread. So now I've included the definition, so that's good. That's what I want to do. Okay, so that's important that I do that. It's diffusion or spread around Europe began to occur after the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Okay, and so now I've included the definition in there. I've got it right here, the spread. I've got my first concrete detail around beginning in the Mediterranean world, and that it's spread throughout Europe after the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Now, I've written this in my own words. A lot of it is similar because I'm trying to include those concrete details, but I didn't copy it word for word, and that's what I want. And if you move to level 3, you should be able to do that. So now that I've got this written here, I'm going to move to my second word, which is, you can see, it's monastery. Okay, and so I'm going to list that here. Okay, and I get that listed in here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to read, and I'm going to end up reading about monasteries and how that helped spread Christianity and all that stuff, and I would do my next little paraphrase, including all of my concrete details in here. So I have to do more than just the definition, but I have to include the definition and some of the concrete details of why they're even talking about this concept or main idea. And that's how you work on the level 3 vocab.